How's it going, fashion besties? It's your weekly check in from your style therapist and the only Holly you need to know me. We've had an action packed week here at the Fashion Crimes Podcast Beat Laboratory, starting out but not limited to a Great Gatsby themed party for Sapria, which is a charity transforming society by addressing the issue of child sexual abuse. Sapria is known for being the nonprofit for using proven practical methods for confronting and overcoming child sexual abuse. With clinically proven tools and resources, they empower survivors, parents, and communities with the knowledge they need to protect, to heal, and to put a final stop to child sexual abuse. Thanks to the generosity of their donors, all of their resources are available for free. You heard that right, free. They have retreats all over the country and in other countries as well, in addition to supplying resources and counseling to inmates in both men's and women's prisons in the United States. Before I got to know them, I didn't understand the absolute depth of this problem and how many victims and their families benefit from their services. So, all that to say, this was a VIP reception given by Sapria for the people in Atlanta who support this amazing cause, leading up to their big fundraising gala, which I participated in last year. And who better to host the VIP party other than me? But not only a costume party, but a Great Gatsby themed party. And it was a hit, let's be honest. And I completely exceeded their expectations by a landslide. So, if anyone wants to throw a Gatsby themed party, hit me up so I can offer you some free planning advice. But for the sake of time, I'll give you the unforgettable highlights that you need to know about. First off, let's talk about my outfit, duh. And which I don't know if you saw my Instagram reel. Please go back and look at that. If you didn't, it was my first non-wig debut. What? Now, I did end up having a hair helmet as my hair person completely cemented my hair to my head with finger waves, by the way. Now, when she was done, she was like, oh my God, you are giving me Eddie Murphy's ex-wife vibes. And I'm like, who dat? And it turns out her name is Nicole Murphy. So that was an extreme compliment. Didn't know who she was or what she looked like. Had to totally look that up. But I was very pleased to see her picture. She was very pretty. I had pearls in my hair and a bias cut royal blue silk dress that was very low in the back by designer Bach Mai. And a pearl cape. It was a cape that went all the way up to my neck. It clipped in the back and it went all the way down my arms. I got tons of compliments and I felt very on theme. I also got some shoes with some pearl bows, and that brought the whole look together. I got those shoes for a very good price at Dillard's, their home brand Gianni Beanie, which I'll give them a shout out. Very cute shoes. Now, keep in mind, I wanted to look different than everyone else. And I looked online for weeks and weeks for a dress. And then I decided I didn't want to buy a new dress, that I found this pearl cape and I put it on a dress I already had, and it completely changed the whole vibe. So the fashion gods were totally looking down on me. Everyone else looked so good too, and it was so fun to see everyone dressed up. So if you need help, if you have a theme party to attend, you know where to find me to hit me up for some costume advice. Also, this charity organization, sidebar, is out of Utah, which of course has a lot of Mormons on staff. Since Mormons usually don't drink alcohol, my niece Avery, shout out to Avery, She was telling me about the latest non-alcoholic trend, which is all over Utah and has come to New York. It's called swig, which is literally like a 1950s soda shop. It's called a dirty soda. That's what they serve. And it is different sodas layered, mixed with cream and fruits and different syrups that are flavored. And let me tell you, it is all the rage. I hooked it up with our bartender for the party for the Mormons, and they were so blown away and so impressed. They were loving it. Even the people that did not want to drink that and drank alcohol were drinking those anyway. I have a couple of recipes if you're interested. And obviously, it's great for anyone of any age. But the best part of the night was when I saw somebody who actually does drink alcohol drinking a dirty soda. And I was like, I can't believe you're trying it. He said, oh, I got a little vodka in there. Duh. Anyway, they were delicious. And it was a party hit. Now, I hope that you listened to last week's episode, which was episode 246, the top summer pants that you need to know about. Now, I got an email from Sarah, one of my fashion besties, hit me up telling me how informative that was. And that was an episode she really did not even know she needed to learn about. So thank you, Sarah, as always, for writing in. I love my summer pants, and I have a few pair coming to me, which I told you about last week, and I will be sure to give you a review on those when I receive them. As I said before, it's practically summer here in Atlanta, so I'll be wearing my summer pants and making some outfit reels for Style Inspo ASAP. And if you listened to that but didn't catch the episode before that, that was episode 245. That was how to mix high and low end pieces, which of course we got great feedback on that as people really loved learning how to mix high and low end items together to make a cohesive outfit. Also, make sure you hit us up on Pinterest. We have boards for both of these episodes, 245 and 246. And you will see all the images that go with the episode so you can follow right along and get shopping suggestions. You can, of course, see every board every week, in addition to watching our coordinating videos like this one with each episode that's audio. And that would be the Fashion Crimes Podcast YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below on our YouTube channel, and you will get the videos, all the videos you will ever need to listen to or watch every single week. Don't know how your day can get any better. Now, Mother's Day is this Sunday. Yay! Well, in my case, it's Stepmonster Day. So make sure you figure out what you will be wearing and if you will be taken out or if you're going to take yourself out. Regardless, it's a great reason to get dressed up and go out. You deserve it. Now, you can be a mother to humans or animals or even plants, as plant parenting really is a thing, by the way. And P.S., I know you're supposed to talk to your plants, and I never do, but then I started talking to my fiddle leaf fig yesterday as homegirl. She's been through it, okay? I have brought her back from the dead. She's been through it. And I talked to her yesterday, and then today she had a new baby leaf. Oh my God, I was so proud. And I told her how pretty she looked with her new baby. I was so impressed. Now I have to keep the conversation going with her, which I really should move her up here so I can pretend that I'm speaking to her when I'm recording. Anyway, I'm going out to dinner and not sure what I'll be wearing, but we'll post an outfit reel for you to tell me if you like it or not. Now, if you're not following or engaging with us on Instagram, go ahead and look us up and give us a follow to let us know that you're out there. We love hearing from you. We love it. Also, need to know if you're getting any gifts and what said gifts are, so hit me up with that too. Now, in shopping news, we went to Austin, Texas for the first time, and we went shopping on South Congress. Lots of cute shops there. We also went to a store that I loved called By George, all high-end luxury items and gorgeous jewelry. I mean, gorgeous. I saw a bracelet that I loved. I was like, oh, that's cute. How much is that? She's like, that's 2,500. I was like, okay, don't take it out of the case. Anyway, I asked her what other stores to go to in that area, and she was like, you should totally go to the store down the street. It's called Kick Fleet. We went there, loved that. Same vibe, different clothes, Avi. And then I asked the guy, hey, what other stores are around here? And he told me to go to the store called Good Company. We went there, a little bit different of a price point, and loved the woman in there. She was so sweet. And she told me to go to a store called Wood and Rose. Absolutely loved that store, hit the jackpot, and of course got a couple of Step Monster gifts there. Loved the owner, met and hung out with her for quite a bit. I totally got her. Anyway, so we ended it there. Now, that was quite the boutique adventure. Now, don't forget that my boutique is opening up on July 15th. There will be tons of hype about it, but just want you to mark it on your calendar, please. There will be a countdown, which will be on like Donkey Kong, starting on June 15th. Much more to come on that. But until then, we got to get to the Met Gala blue carpet review. Now, the Met Gala this year, 2025, was this past Monday on May 5th. Now, it's traditionally held on the first Monday in May. This year's theme is Superfine, Tailoring Black Style, which explores the role of sartorial style in forming Black identities. The theme was inspired by the 2009 book of Monica Miller, Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity. And if you aren't sure what dandyism is, according to Google AI, it refers to a style or a manner of dress and behavior characterized by excessive attention to personal appearance and refinement, often seen as a form of self-expression and rebellion against societal norms. Now, it's not just about the clothes, but also about the attitude, and the approach to life, with the dandy often presenting themselves as a work of art. So when you think of men in the round straw hats, stiff suits, gloves, wingtip shoes, and a walking cane, that's a dandy. I have to say, after watching the carpet this year, after all of the years I've been reporting on the Met Gala, this has been my absolute, without a doubt, on this planet, in this lifetime, favorite theme I have ever witnessed in my life. There were so many looks that I died over, and so little that I hated. I couldn't even believe it. And never have I ever loved 9 out of 10 looks. Anyway, I can't wait to dissect this with you. So the co-chairs for the Met Gala 2025 are Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour, actor Coleman Domingo, race car driver Lewis Hamilton, and musicians A$AP Rocky and Pharrell Williams, who was also the head of Louis Vuitton. Now, LeBron James was also set to be an honorary chair, but he will not be attending. He did not attend due to a knee injury. Sad. Now, the carpet commentators were Christian Siriano, Zuri Hall, Maria Taylor, Xana Roberts-Rossi, Yvonne Orji, and fashion journalist Elaine Welteroth, who is going to be my best friend. I can just feel it. Now, the Met Museum raised over $31 million this year, which is the highest donation for this costume institute from the 77 years it's been around. The tables for 10, that seat 10, start at $350,000, and the tickets, which are invite only, are $75,000 each. Now, Anna Wintour started the night with her interview stating that this night is spotlighting the incredible Black talented fashion designers with a nod to the late Andre Leon Talley, and it really encompasses optimism and hope. So, you know what? Kudos to her. Also, as we said before, it was normally the red carpet. It's been champagne carpet in the past. Now it was blue lined with daffodils all up and down the sides of the famous Met stairs. I can't even tell. There must not be a daffodil left in New York City. Thousands upon thousands of daffodils all up and down the sides. It was gorgeous. Then to start off the night, they had an all-black men's a cappella choir that was on the steps to kick off the night in honor of Black dandyism. They were in all-black tuxes with white ties. Anna Wintour, she wore a silk ice blue embroidered dress, of course by Louis Vuitton, with a light blue tailored coat to the floor and no sunglasses. She is never seen without her shades. That's not true. She doesn't wear them to the gala. But anyway, she looked gorgeous, as she always does. Calvin Domingo, he started out in a blue embroidered choir, what looked like a choir robe with a Valentino jeweled breastplate on top of that. And then this giant earpiece as a nod, which he said was to the Black church. And let me just say, if y'all have not watched The Four Seasons, it is so good. Okay. He stars in that. The suit he was wearing underneath was the ultimate in pattern mixing, a window pane, pearl jeweled suit with a striped shirt and a polka dot hand painted ascot with an adjoining oversized flower on his lapel. Now, he said the people who he grew up with, the Black men that he looked up to, wore lots of jewelry. So he had on tons of Boucheron jewelry and rings and his earpiece all over. He looked stunning. Co-chair Pharrell Williams in his pinstripe pearl suit looked amazing. And Nicki Minaj, she came out of the Mark Hotel. They showed her. She had a screen on all sides of her with wheels, and they were wheeling her out of the Mark Hotel so nobody could see what she was wearing. Now, she was one of the last to be shown on the carpet, and she was in Tom Ford. More about that later. Coco Jones, she was in a full beaded velvet and brocade suit by Manish Malhotra. It had sequins and pearls and a jacket with a 6-foot train and matching pants underneath. Yes. Yes. One of my absolute favorites of the night. And I hate to announce this, but the fashion don't that stuck out in my mind to me the worst. This is one of two. Pamela Anderson and Tory Burch. She was in a silver sequin long sleeve beaded dress up to her neck, down to the floor. Completely a very different look than I've ever seen her wear before. Her hair was in a short bang bob down to her chin. And it was a very different look for her. And of course, she doesn't wear that much makeup. I hated it from the top to the bottom. Fashion crime. And the panel, the commentators said that they loved it and how regal it was, but I get it, but it did not translate to me. It was so ugly and so unflattering, and it was so sad because she is gorgeous. Wah, wah, wah. And if y'all have not seen The Last Showgirl, talk about gorgeous. She still got it. I don't know why she wore that. Anyway, going back to the people that I liked, Zendaya never ceases to disappoint. She was in a 3-piece all-white tuxedo, flared leg, full-on white tux by Louis Vuitton, and a floppy hat, giving me life. Gigi Hadid, she was in a gold halter mermaid dress by Miu Miu with this giant train. It was draped so beautifully on her, and her hair and her makeup was so 1930s with the pin curls. Perfection. And she said she was honoring Zelda Wynn Valdez, the first Black fashion designer who opened her own store in New York City on Broadway. I loved that fun fact. Loving her for that. Diana Ross took everyone's breath away. She came in a custom 1116 by Hugo Mosey with an ostrich feather oversized hat. I mean, this hat was out to here, all with feathers all around it. Now, she wore a silver beaded spaghetti strap bodycon dress that she said was from her own personal archives. Can you imagine Diana Ross's personal closet archives? Yes, queen. And a feather cloak with a giant train. That train must have been, I don't know, 30 feet long. She is 81 years old. 81. She looked fabulous. And speaking of fabulous, Zoe Saldana in Tom Brown, who killed it. That there were so many Tom Brown looks. Complete respect for this designer. He's such a genius. She had on, excuse me, a black and white, all beaded, collared, corseted dress with an exaggerated hip, and it had buttons all the way down the front, all the way down each sleeve, with a contrasting welt pocket on her left shoulder. Now, what was funny was that the white was actually silver beading. 2.6, I'll say that again, 2.6 million bugle beads for this dress. High heel black and white wingtips with this really large bustled bow right behind her head. And then the back of the dress was open down to the waist. That gave her a slight train. Dying over that dress. Simone Biles, she was in Harbison Studio wearing a very short royal blue dress with a white contrasting collar, with a giant bustle in the back, with, of course, a giant, humongo 20-foot train. And she had on matching blue shoes. Loving Simone Biles. She is just so classy and gorgeous. I think she was on one of the committees or one of the chairs, but she looked beautiful and so age appropriate. Her whole dress was beaded all over with this giant collar. It was just so fitting and adorable. Lupita Nyong'o, she was in an aquamarine full Chanel suit with a matching hat, and she had this chiffon cape that she kept, floating up into the air. She looked gorgeous, and her hair was actually really long. It was down to her butt. Jenny Kim, she was in custom black and white Chanel. She had on a leather off-the-shoulder black satin jumpsuit with the white camellia flower. Of course, that represents Chanel, with a string of pearls in the front, string of pearls in the back. Another fashion don't I saw at the end, Andre 3000, God bless him, in Burberry. He wore a denim jumpsuit with zippers down each leg, and he had a full-on grand piano strapped to his back. Okay, queen. Strapped to his back, he was wearing a red beret and then holding a literal trash bag. Alrighty then. Wah, wah, wah. No, thank you, Andre 3000. I mean, be weird, but don't be that weird, okay? ASAP Rocky, he was wearing his chocolate brown AWGE Agui suit. I think that is his namesake brand. And then he had a dandy umbrella. And he did have on a raincoat, which was fitting, very fitting, the commentators were saying, because it was raining in Manhattan. Dua Lipa, she can never go wrong, okay? She is actually the new face of Chanel, and she had on a corset with 45,000 crystals. And the skirt, it was all feathers and short up to your ass crack short. Now, she had this very long chiffon train, 50-foot train in the back with this giant cape. She walked up the steps. She took the cape off to reveal the dress so you could see the feathers underneath. And then she walked up 2 more steps and she took off the jacket. Okay. She takes off the jacket, and that revealed the top of the dress, which is like a triangle top spaghetti strap dress, and these crystal gloves. It was beyond. Okay. Another one of my favorites for the night. I love a layered look. Step, step, shed, step, step, shed. Yes. Lord, who I really like her music, but I don't consider her glamorous by any means. She looked extremely glamorous. I loved what she was wearing so much. She had an icy gray horizontal pleated skirt that was I mean, it fit her so well all the way up, cinched in at the waist. It laced up all the way up the back, and then she had on this banded top that was supposed to resemble a cummerbund. Okay. Then she had a silk jacket. All this, of course, was by Tom Brown. And the top literally went from here to here and here to here. From the back, she looked completely naked, but she looked sick. Okay. She looked so good. Kerry Washington, she was standing there with Jonathan Simkai, which almost knocked me out of my chair. He was so hot. People were like, "Who dat? Who's she with? Is that her boyfriend?" It was Jonathan Simkai, and he is not hard to look at. Let's just start there, okay? Um, this was a top that was made to look like a jacket, and it had a very deep V, and she wore a sheer mesh see-through A-line skirt and mesh gloves and a bolero hat. She looked incredible. Megan Thee Stallion was in custom Michael Kors collection, 75,000 crystals in a silver beaded spaghetti strap dress. Okay. And then she had, of course, the coat that with the giant train. I mean, her boobs were so squished on the top of this dress and coming out, looked like she was getting a mammogram. I'm just saying. I don't know how she wasn't in pain wearing that dress, but she did look good. Sabrina Carpenter, one of my new girl crushes. She was in Louis Vuitton, and good God Almighty, did she serve. However, she had on no pants. It was literal double-breasted long sleeve jacket in Merlot that came down to like a leotard. I mean, it looked like a bathing suit with a double-breasted jacket. It was so fabulous. And the tails were, she had tails that split up the middle, and on the jacket that was a giant train, and with these beautiful stacked closed toe shoes. Her legs, I don't even want to talk about her legs. They are just sculptural. Okay. She looked so gorgeous. Miley Cyrus was in Alaya, gorgeous as always. She's just getting prettier and prettier the older she gets. She was in this gorgeous Alaya cropped jacket, and I mean cropped up to here, long sleeve with these gold banded necklaces, and all of her stomach was showing down to like crotch level, and then it went into like a mermaid skirt, a black skirt. She looked stunning. Cynthia Erivo, my bald bestie, I cannot with her. She was in Givenchy by Sarah Burton, who I've actually met because Sarah Burton used to be with McQueen, and I loved meeting her. She is such a doll, very quiet, very reserved person, but one of the most talented designers I have ever seen and met. So she had this embellished sliced jacket with a corset underneath, of course, all beaded with hot pants. Now, she didn't have no pants, she had on hot pants. And then she had this full black skirt that was open in the front with matching beaded boots. I was living for it. And I'm telling you, her nails, if you know anything about Cynthia Erivo, her nails are everything. First of all, they're out to here, and they had all different bling on each nail. One had a pocket square, one had buttons, one had pinstripes, a tie, etc., all for the dandyism theme. The shock and awe, who I am not mad at her for 1 second, is Halle Berry. She was wearing Coach with a two-tone beaded jacket and a silver lapel, and the dress had a beaded corset underneath. It was just gorgeous. And that was inspired by Harlem Renaissance. Now, she had a net over her face and, beads in her hair. So that looked really, really good. So I meant to say Halle Bailey. Excuse me. I said Halle Berry. It's Halle Bailey. So it was a very short dress, beaded corset underneath, and very, very cute. I love her. She was a Little Mermaid. So I'm a big fan of her now. And I would say my favorite ding, ding, ding look of the night on this planet in this lifetime. Never have I ever seen Mindy Kaling so sleek, elegant, refined, classy, gorgeous. She was wearing a long black and white sleeve dress with different embellishments down the front. They looked like giant oversized buttons. Now, she was wearing custom Harbison Studio, and all of the oversized buttons were different down the front. And then she had this like royal sash around her waist that was contrasting red and white. She is so skinny. I mean, I've never seen her so thin, and she looked so beautiful. She had the same embellishments that were on the front of her dress were in, her different sections of her ponytail, which was down to her butt. Stunning to die for. Doechii, my bestie Doechii, she was carrying a cigar, really flipping the man card on us, which I was totally digging. She was in Louis Vuitton, checkerboard Bermuda shorts with a tan LV tailored crop jacket with the tails and this giant pussy bow blouse that was Merlot with matching knee socks and giant Mary Janes. Very different from everyone else on the carpet, and she had her hair in an afro. Love that look. Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, couple of the year, they were wearing matching Moncler, okay, off the shoulder, red and black pinstripe flared suits with giant legs and this huge oversized scarf that looked like a sleeping bag, okay, and this beaded headpiece that was totally channeling Cher, like something Cher would wear, and it looked like her hair. Gorgeous. Now, her oversized sleeping bag scarf that she was carrying was the same stripe as the pinstripe that Swiss Beats was wearing. So they coordinated, they matched. Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. If you have not watched The Bear, do not come back until you have watched every episode of The Bear, one of the best shows I've ever witnessed in my life. I would not kick him out of bed for eating crackers. Let's just say that. He was in Louis Vuitton, a black pinstripe suit with a regular necktie and a silver brooch. He can do no wrong in my book. Sorry. The panel was saying that it was a pearl encrusted jacket, which was very small. It's hard to see on TV. But one of my favorite looks of the night, because I would like him in clothes or without clothes. It's up to him, really. It's his pick. Demi Moore, another favorite of the night. Oh my God. Again in Thom Browne. She was the living dandy tie, okay, who Thom Browne, again, the biggest design genius of my lifetime that I have seen, besides Sarah Burton, in a minute. She was in a sculptural, literal necktie with the part that went around your neck, over her head, and she had the knot here at her waist, and it was amazeballs. The dress was black crystals with white pinstripes, and to see the sketch of this dress, 1.4 million bugle beads. I mean, just to see the sketch next to it will make your jaw hit the floor. I have never seen anything like this. She was such a good sport to wear it, and this will go down in history for sure. Performance art, I say. Performance art. Now, Doja Cat, she was in custom Marc Jacobs in a nod to the 80s with a pinstripe exaggerated shoulder, huge shoulder, with a cat corset print in the front and on the butt. And she had on 12-inch, they called it kinky boots, with black tights, which she looked great. Now, she didn't have on any pants either, but she did have, like, that was a costume look. Crystal pinstripe with a silk lapel collar. I love her. She killed it. Lisa, the world famous K-pop star from the White Lotus. And if you have not watched the White Lotus, get on it. Make it happen. She was in a tailor beaded LV blazer, monogrammed LV tights, and an LV bag. No pants. She is tiny too. She is a little person. She is gorgeous. Tracy Ellis Ross, she was in an oversized Marc Jacobs disproportioned giant suit with a pink hat, giant cummerbund, and a crop jacket. She was loving her look, and it really showed. I wasn't really here for it, but I get it. I totally get it. We have so many more to go over, but I just want to say there are too many to talk about. However, all of these images you can see and more here on our video and on our Pinterest board. Another one of my favorites was Nicole Kidman. Her hair, perfection. Slicked down to her chin, black underneath, and blonde on top. She was wearing a black strapless Balenciaga couture double bow dress. And I'll tell you, it was a recreation from the 1952 Balenciaga collection. I was here for it. 700 hours of tailoring for that dress. Lizzo was in Christian Siriano in a black and white Godet mermaid dress, layers of corsets. He said there was 3 corsets under there, plunging neckline, and her hair was blonde. And honey, she was working the cigarette. Okay. She couldn't walk in that dress, but she looked great. And he made that dress in 5 days, he said. 5 days, over 200 seams for that dress. Who else? There were so many more. Oh, and last favorite, Kim Kardashian can do no wrong in my world. She was in custom chrome hearts. Christian Siriano said she looked like a Western witch. She was in an embossed leather croc top with these straps that were off her shoulders and this mermaid skirt and the train. And it was low pearl chains. And she had this matching, kicked up hat that only showed half of her face. She looked so badass. Chapel Roan was in custom Paul Tazewell in a hot pink beaded flared leg suit. She looked incredible, very into drag queen makeup. And Laquan Smith, Halle Berry and Laquan Smith, she had this sheer see-through striped beaded dress with this jacket, and the stripe in the front completely covered her vag. She was very naked underneath and had on no underwear. Okay. But damn, she looked incredible. And I'll leave you with Janelle Monáe, who was made for this, as she's always flipping the masculine card over in her wardrobe and her looks. She had on a structural overcoat that was printed. Of course, it was by Tom Brown, with this bowler hat and a monocle. And the print on the front was exactly what she had underneath. So she took the coat off, and underneath she had on her color blocked, half black, half red, notch lapel suit. And this embodies everything Janelle Monáe is. And she is always showing us her feminine side, her masculine side, all while looking sexy and just killing it. I could talk all night. I was up all night watching the red carpet. Y'all, this was the best Met Gala I have ever witnessed in my life. It was so fun to report on it. Who are your favorites? Who did you love? Who did you hate? Make sure you let me know. Hit me up, Holly at Fashion Crimes Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Give us a follow. We love to hear your comments. And until next week, I hope you have a fantastic Mother's Day. I hope you had a just as much fun watching the Met Gala as me. And let me know what subjects you guys want to hear. We are open for requests. The request hotline is open. Y'all have a fabulous, fashionable week. Bye.